And welcome everybody to Non-Defense's Guide to Boom Beach, and of course I am Bronsoon. Thank you. You'll see that I've hijacked his YouTube channel and taken it in the right direction. Of course, you'll see that my HQ is level 21 and well on the way to level 22. You'll see that my landing craft are far superior than Non-Defense's could ever be. Beautiful. As you can see that my map is reasonably empty. Thank you. We're going to be going through, looking at some various attacks that I have. I do want to just take a moment and show off our team, still unboomable, with, of course, our real-life leader, Miss Boom Beach Angie. Absolutely. She certainly deserves the praise as well, certainly more than her no good husband, Mr. Non-Defense. So, as we've been going through, I noticed that Nun has almost got 75 episodes, so I guess I have to give the bloke a little bit of credit. He's certainly done something more than I ever thought that he would achieve, but considering that I'm really the star player on his team, and the only reason his YouTube has a success is because of our team and because I'm on it, then it makes sense that I should be the one hosting the 75th episode. I, of course, have not gotten Nun's permission for this, and no reason that I should. So, what I want to do with you today, folks, is I'm just going to go ahead and just show you some of the NPCs that I was working on earlier. These are pretty high-level things, and I really think that you would benefit from being able to see them with my brilliant breakdowns. So this was, of course, lock-on. I intended to go with a crying hookah approach, meaning that I have heavies, I've got the girls, and of course I've got the new girls, the new broads, the crying ears. Non-Defense likes to call them ex-wives. I find that that's degrading to women, and he should be stoned out in the, out in a parking lot somewhere. So if anybody gives me a little love there. So we're going to go ahead and just demonstrate lock on. So let's show you how I beat this. Now, I know NPCs aren't always the most exciting of things to raid, but they do pop up very regularly, and they certainly all do provide their own unique kind of tricks that you're going to need to focus on. Now, I, of course, being the absolute master of any troop that Supercell could ever create, you'll see that I already have mastered the crying hookah. Yes, it's only been out for a couple of weeks, but when your skills are as legendary as mine are, there's really not much you can do to slow me down. You'll notice that the girls are just shooting off their little ice beams, slowing things down. The thing that I don't like about the crying ears is they tend to want to walk out in front of the heavies. But if you manage your flare properly, and you manage how you utilize your gunboat, you'll be able to work around that. No problems, mate. No problems. So of course this was on the base lockdown, I believe the name was. Nothing to it. Absolutely no fear, no worries at all, just crushing things. Absolutely. Just leaving a path of destruction everywhere I go. You'll see that I did do that flawless, nothing to it. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and now look at Elbow Room. Elbow Room is one of those interesting NPCs that you'll pop up at the higher levels. It's very grid-like, meaning everything's in just kind of a square. Depending on what type of troops you'll have, it'll depend on how you'll want to manage this in terms of your gunboat usage. There are benefits of the fact that many of the defenses are touching, so you can certainly use that against itself. Absolutely. Now, I know Non-Defense is certainly pleased and privileged to have me on the team, and being able to go and actually give a good demonstration of how to beat something. So this is just me demonstrating my absolutely perfect skills. You'll notice that I had lost 0 troops, so therefore everything I did was automatically correct. Now, of course, for those who are recently jumped onto this particular YouTube channel, you'll see that I've starred in a couple of these episodes, and titled "It's All About Bron." I do highly recommend that you go check those out. Alrighty, so that was on that. I forgot what I was doing there, mate. Okay, so here's Blue Boom. Now, one of the interesting things about Blue Boom, here, I'll show you here, You'll notice how it's kind of a triangular shaped. Well, that's important because Australia in its own way is kind of a triangular shape. So when I see a base like this, it just makes me, think fondly of my homeland. Of course, I am from Australia, and as anybody who can hear my absolutely brilliant fake accent will be able to ascertain that. Of course, I'm not really non-defense pretending to be Bron, because that would just be stupid, and who would even bother wasting their time on such a silly thing. So here I'm just going through this and looking as I see dropped over here on the right and then flare, or excuse me, on the far left and then flare over. What that does is it allows all my troops to get in the proper position. This is a trick that I've been taught None on his first day of Boom Beach. Many are not aware of this, but I actually saved his life in the Vietnam War. No, he was not actually fighting in the war. He was running the other direction. He tripped, he fell, he turned around, he held his arm up like he was in some kind of stupid horror movie, and he was going to, as if that was going to protect him from the Viet Cong army. And I just was like, dude, you're not even in the Vietnam War. But he's convinced that that's what happened, so I just like to let him believe it. Truth is, it was just at a shopping mall. Apparently, it was some lady at the shoe store that made him very uncomfortable when she offered to tie his laces. Strange bloke, that on defense. So that was on Blue Boom. And here we are, we're looking at Lock On again. Now, I've already beat Lock On down here, but I want to show you how I beat it up here. Now, this was just earlier today. Of course, it's very late here in my time zone. As of right now, it's 10:13 in the PM. I will be going to bed soon. But this was just how I like to end my evening. I like to, load me up a nice tall glass of brandy, or maybe some scotch, occasional whiskey, and, a bit of light drinking. As I was going through this particular, and of course I'm being rated, so I won't be able to continue on with my brilliant demonstration. So we'll just go ahead and hit reload and just wait it out. In the meantime, I can tell you some silly stories about non-defense. You'll see, when I first joined this team, so long ago, he was at that point still running over 20 active accounts. I joined the team, and it was interesting to see him try so hard and fail so miserably. So I just went ahead and told the mate, clearly you need some assistance around here. Go ahead and just give me some of the accounts, and I'll make them stronger than all of your accounts in no time. And that's what I went about doing. It's unfortunate that we have to sit here and this takes away from our time that we could be showing you awesome demonstrations of my skill on the field. But as soon as this comes out, I was also thinking about showing you some of my task force attacks. Non-defense, he likes to pretend that they set up this channel to help task forces across the board. All we know is he just likes to talk. Just yammers on forever and ever, doesn't he? It's like you can't even get him to shut up. Alrighty, so let's just go ahead and watch that raid and see what happened. Also, that was a lost resource base. I'll take that back at a later time. As you see, I'm currently upgrading this level 20 craft to level 21. No need to screw that up. It's getting late. We're just gonna wrap that up. Oh, and I wanted to show you. So this was, I'm assuming this guy's name was Larry, possibly Lawrence. So you see that he's just going to he's working Zukas. So he's flaring right to that machine gun first. That's what's going to allow them to drop and settle. Once he's on the machine gun, you'll see he could have used an extra smoke there. But now he's just going to flash directly right up to the boom cannon. Well, that was surprising. I half expected him to go for the straight to the HQ there. I guess he's scared about working them angles. Clearly, if I was running, I would have just went straight to the HQ, but I'm Bron and he's not. That's how that works. Now, if he's going to do this right, he's going to drop a smoke here and here, or excuse me, a shock here and here. Not bad, bloke, but you missed the flamethrower. Oh, I see, he went ahead and got it on the third try. The only reason this guy even knows how to do this attack is because I've already shown him when I took this resource base from him. So right, that was lovely. Let's go ahead and pull up some of my task force attacks. Well, it went pretty easy today. Just wanted to do tinderbox, nothing fancy. So I'm just going to show you all the attacks that I controlled, because those are the only real good ones worth watching. Here you'll see that this was my Mr. Bron's partial. Bron's partial is an account that is one of the lower ones that I can control. But even with a weak account, you'll see that I'm able to do things far and above any normal mere mortal. Now, as you're watching this, I don't want you to be jealous of the type of skills that I'm demonstrating. These are things that you can learn in time. That was a strategical, intentional use of clearing that boom mine there. That was absolutely intentional, not a single mistake, not ever. How could a mistake even happen when you have the name Bronsoon, really? Now, of course, that might inspire some of you to change your Boom Beach name to Bronsoon. In those situations, it just won't work. So I'm going to flare up here, and I'm going to work on this cannon. I will be doing a fancy smoking over to those rockets here in a moment, but let's just take a moment to savor the action. I'm not scared of that cannon in that situation. Yes, it might take out two of my girls, but I'm going to overwhelm it before it can overwhelm me. So that's certainly fair to say. Dropping over here, going to generate a little bit of GBE in order to generate the GBE necessary to flare over to the rocket and provide smoke for my girls. Many of you are probably watching this, well, you say, Bron, but this account is far too low of a level for you to even try something like that. Well, once again, I'm Bron, you're not. Now, I hope nobody takes offense to the fact that I'm pointing out the obvious, that there's absolutely no way any of you could ever do something like this. But I'm sure all of you appreciate the blunt honesty. If memory serves, I'll then drop a shock on these machine guns. Turns out I didn't have a shock there, but I did have a med kit, so I dropped it there. And again, these aren't any things that you would ever be able to do with such a low account. But I've been Bronsoon my whole life, which pretty much makes me a master of anything I get involved in. So you'll have to, I do get the advantage there. But of course, I get the advantage in most situations, really. So this was another one of my little low levels, a little piddly widdly. Just going to drop my girls there. Going to flare them right over to this corner, just straight over. No need for a fancy drop there. We're just hugging this wall here. Getting ready for the very same maneuver. I'll slow it down so you can appreciate the mastery of it. Dropping the smoke there. You'll notice that I like to flare in short, manageable distances. That's in order to kind of keep them all grouped together properly. Got to flare the HQ and get ready to shock the machine guns. Beautiful work. Absolutely fantastic, and nothing could have improved it. Just went ahead and wanted to flare right over there by the machine guns, and you'll see why in just a moment. Now, of course, I could speed up the replay, but then you wouldn't get the full benefit of appreciating everything. That is me, and that's important. Gonna flare over here. I will start to speed this along as we enter the team artillery phase. This is where I'm now refocused. I've done the hard part of getting rid of the rockets and took out some machine guns. So now I'm gonna go generate some GBE in order to start bombing these rockets down here. Beautiful. In bar rockets, I'm sorry, I meant to say I was actually working those mines there. I'll be setting up for another run that I'll be doing a little bit later. I'll of course show you that, because that's really the reason that you're here, to watch my attacks. Alright, this was Bronze Troy. Also another one of my lowers. At this point I'm going over here. My goal is to position myself right next to the rockets. I'm going to flare right there. Absolutely perfect. I'll reposition. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, of course, Nun defense told me that I should have done better, and I should have been able to get out, take out both of those rockets in that situation. However, of course, he's bollocks. Bollocks is a real Australian term, and I'm fairly sure I used it in the correct context, but I may not have. This is, of course, me, Matt Dragon NPA. You'll know from the name NPA, that stands for Nun's Personal Army. It should be titled Bron's Personal Army, but we can't do another name change on this account. So we're just going to load up right here. This is on Matt Dragon NPA on the base Black River. You remember about an attack or two ago, I've dropped some barrage and some artillery to clear the mines, and this is why. It is so you can watch this little thing of beauty here. I did spend some time on a lot of the higher up task forces, just so I could. It was nice being around, players almost as good as me. I'm gonna drop a shock on that mortar in just a moment. There it is. Taking out the dome cannon. I don't have another shock there, but that's alright. Good damage, good damage. Took out 2 rockets. Can't complain about that, mate. And a dome cannon. Now again, this was on tinderbox. We can beat Foxtrot without too much of an issue for the most part. We can beat Stronghold, but everybody's got to be really dialed in. This, of course, was Bronze Richards. This is one of my favorite attacks of the ones that I did yesterday. I did on this particular arc. Just doing the fancy Zuka drop. I have absolutely zero fear. You notice I know that the rockets are out of range at the moment, and I'll be able to drop without having to need smoke. That's very useful. Gonna drop the smoke here. I'll speed it up just a bit. Just a touch. So I'm going to shock these rocket launchers over there. Take out this rocket launcher. You're really going to appreciate this in just a moment. Little quick reflare. Used an artillery to get rid of that single mine. Now I'm just dropping that just to make sure that nobody even accidentally shoots a rocket off, because that would definitely, ruin my attack. And just like that, 5 rockets down. Flare the HQ, go ahead and start pounding it down. Beautiful. Alright, so that was Bronze Richard. We'll show you Nick here, because Nick is just as good as I am. So Nick went over here on Black River. Just hugging the walls, flaring the corners, doing the things that he knows he needs to do. The co-leaders and the real leader, except for Nun, that is, do a great job of running things on this team. It's absolutely a pleasure being on a team that works so hard to work together and tries so hard to focus on that particular aspect of the game. This is Bron's Emmett, driven by me, of course. Who else? This was on the base Quantum. Somebody has already come in and cleared this stuff, not that I needed them to. You'll see that I'm going over here on a power cell run, and I'm just ultimately, I'm ultimately just going to be dropping some team artillery on the designated targets. If memory serves, it was the shock launchers. Maybe it was these rockets back here. Beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely spectacular attack. And Muffin. Muffin's one of mine. Muffin MPA. They used these some of the accounts that I control that have MPA on the end. They were formerly Nun's accounts. But again, when I joined the team, I went ahead and put him out of his misery, and I started handling, many of the smaller accounts and made them incredibly strong. So, thank you, Bron. Beautiful. And that was me again using the Muffin account. All Zukas. And then, of course, Bronsoon himself goes in and gets the big win. Not much to this one, just a drop over here, just get everything going over here. I got my crying hookah. You'll have to ignore the one tank. I was obviously doing a landing craft upgrade and just got stuck with tanks on the boat. That happens. You'll notice how that when I'm running into any version of hookah, I always do the two smokes, one on my heavies, one on my Zookas, and that way the smoke on my heavies will clear first, so everything will target that first, and then the smoke on the Zookas will clear, and then they'll start blasting. Just a little trick I invented. And that was, friends, was how we beat Tinderbox. And alrighty. So what I want to do for you, I wanted to show you how we beat Dr. Terror, Dr. T. See if there are any other interesting bases. Okay. Alright, we'll go ahead and show you how we beat Dr. T. This was earlier this evening, my evening, your morning, depending on where you are. Just going over here and putting the artillery on the rockets, awakening that, getting rid of that. I know with my crying is, I'll be able to shock and drop. I will be attacking from the right side. A little bit of smoke just to protect the landing. Getting everybody over here in position. Right there. That's the thing I don't like about the crying is they tend to want to take odd paths. I know the Zookas get about a bum rap about some of the odd paths that they take, but that one was pretty odd. They just had to go around the tree. But it's alright. No worries, mate. You'll notice I'm throwing the critters over there as a distraction. I'm going to be doing a repositioning flare here soon. Can't recall right when. There it is. Going to go ahead and just keep walking on it from this right corner. Absolutely. Sorry, Dr. T. I can't imagine you'll ever be able to stop me. I remember in my low levels it was difficult to beat Dr. T 3, or excuse me, Dr. T stage 7. I think I was supposed to beat Dr. T 7 at level 24. It's hard to remember that far back. But again, when you're just born with this much greatness, there's really not much anybody can do to stop you. Quick discussion on my victory points. You'll notice that they are currently sitting at 847. It is my goal to reach 1,000. I am working on it. see what this is. We'll go ahead and reclaim that. Don't need that. See, we'll go ahead and convert. Anything else happening over here? Alright. Beautiful. Absolutely no green statues anywhere on any of my bases, mate. No reason to have them. Absolutely pointless. Everybody knows that the best way to get any kind of resources is just attack, 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 attack. And that's how I do it, and that's why I'm the greatest. Alright, so we've looked at plenty of NPCs, we've looked at a Dr. T7, and we've looked at plenty of task force attacks. I don't want this video to get too long and drawn out, so I think now would be a good time to go ahead and wrap this video up. Friends, as always, I want to thank all of you so much for hanging out with None Defense and getting familiar with his channel, because now that's opening the doors for you to actually have a better understanding of how to glimpse into my greatness, that is Bronsoon. So I will of course occasionally hijack Non-Defense's account for those of you who aren't familiar with this channel, and I will be more than happy to continue to give you occasional glimpses into what it is that I do. So alright friends, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Please remember that we are still unboomable. Boom Bitch Angie is absolutely fantastic, and her silly husband Non-Defense isn't really worth taking the time to pay attention to. So as always friends, be easy.